We're now joined by Alka Pradhan in Washington, D.C. She is an international human rights lawyer who has represented a number of Guantanamo Bay detainees. Alka, good to have you on the show. Okay, at the height, there was nearly 779 detainees, now down to 38. Why is Guantanamo Bay still open 20 years after 9/11?
The short answer is that Guantanamo is still open because every successive US administration has perpetrated this propaganda that there was a need for Guantanamo in the first place, that these men who were brought there were so dangerous, were so monstrous, were so subhuman that they could not be subjected to the same judicial process, the same legal fora as other human beings. Literally, the main reason is racism, and every government, every administration, Bush, Obama, Trump, and now Biden, knows that that's not the case. They know that most of the men there were sold for bounty, should never have been held by anyone, including the United States. But it has proven too legally fraught to admit those mistakes. And so we've gotten to a point now, 20 years later, where certainly the American public, and I think much of the world, really believes that Guantanamo is a necessary evil, and it's just false.
Okay, President Joe Biden, like his predecessor Barack Obama, had said that he wanted to close the facility. Instead, I was reading that it will be expanded. I understand it's difficult on the admission part, but why has it been so hard to dismantle this prison?
The part that is being expanded, that's been reported recently, is the military commissions part of it. And that's the part that I've worked in for 6 years. The issue with clearing and releasing prisoners on what we call the habeas side of it, where the prisoners who will never be charged, is a relatively easier process, although it should have been sped up a decade ago. And I don't understand why the Biden administration is taking so long to do that. The tougher part of it is the military commissions part, where you have a handful of detainees whom the government has charged with crimes related to 9/11 and has created this new court for them. Now, the military commissions have never worked. They are a corrupt legal system, if you can even call it legal, because they're exclusively for Muslim men and boys, and they're based around the hiding of torture and the use of torture evidence. But it has just been politically very difficult to tell tell the American public that, look, it's really not possible to have a fair trial for 9/11 anymore. We
Okay.
tortured these men too badly.
Okay, I don't have much time left, but a former detainee that we featured in Mehmet's package, Moazzam Begg, had talked about the power of the U.S. military. For the detainees, very little has changed over the past 2 decades, hasn't it?
Nothing has changed for the detainees. There may be slightly less physical torture, beatings of the detainees, but psychological torture remains the norm. Arbitrary detention is a form of torture, and the men have not seen their families, who are still there, have not seen their families in 20 years.
Okay, Alka Pradhan, thank you very much.